assignment I want you to do after you finish Stranger Things. I selected a background off the internet, and I know that my original picture, which was a shot taken of me by a friend in Death Valley when it was 117 degrees, I selected myself in this photo and I want to move it to the forest trail. So there's a couple of things you have to do, but the first thing you want to do is to make sure that your images are the same size or approximately the same size. So here what I did is I cropped this image to 12 inches wide by 8 inches tall with a resolution of 300. If I go back to this photo, I can go to image size, and they should be fairly close. This one's slightly different. The size is 12 inches wide by 8.313 inches. Close enough. Because you want them to be close in size before you start moving things around to save yourself a lot of heartache. By the way, here's an example of what I did with Mount Everest. Obviously, I would be up there with no warm clothes and no oxygen, so I'd probably be dead at that point, but I think it looks pretty cool. But going back to this, I have myself selected. The images are approximately the same size. Now, I don't want to take all this with me, so I have inversed the selection already. So let me go back and inverse it again. That's me selected. I don't want to try to move me at this point. I'm going to go back to select inverse so that everything but me is selected. And then I'm going to push delete. Okay, now here's another important issue. This is still selected. I don't want to move the background over to the other photo. So now you've got to go to select, deselect. And some of you have problems. That's probably what it was. You forgot to deselect yourself. So I'm going to click on the forest trail. I cannot have both photos like this on the bar and make it work. So I'm going to drag the forest photo down. I can move it over some. Go back and click on the image of me and move it over to the new image. Now you'll notice right away that the lighting is different, the colors are different, but I'm going to work with this. What I'm going to do here is move it over, partially covering the copyright symbol, because this is someone else's photo I got off the internet, and I don't want to try and steal their work. In fact, I'm not going to be able to do that because it'll ruin the image. So I'm just going to leave it right there, and I'll clone out or take out the copyright symbol just because it looks tacky. We're not trying to steal anybody's work here. So I'm too bright for this image, and I have missed a few things around my hat, and right where my knuckles are, there's actually some rocks that are left over from the other photo. And I cleaned that up for the Mount Everest picture. As you can see, it took quite a bit of effort, but I'm not going to clean it up this time. I'm just going to put it on there so the video won't be so long. I'm going to go to image adjustment with my layer selected, and I'm going to go to brightness contrast and just bring down the brightness a little bit so it looks like I'm actually in a shady area in the evening on a trail. Then I'm going to click OK, and the settings for this just happen to be -32. That has nothing to do with anything. I just wanted to remind you that box will be there. Okay, so the colors on this are okay. They might be a little bit on the warm side compared to the green and this image, although it is warm back behind me. It's a nice warm ray of sun right there. So I'm going to go to image adjustments and try going to photo filter. Now, right now, my photo filter says that I'm choosing the warming filter, and it's making me warmer still, warmer than I was before. So I want to actually cool the image down a little bit. So I'm going to go to the cooling filter. Obviously too cool. But look at the slider here, it's the density. You can make yourself not cool at all, so to speak. Or you could add just a little bit of blue tint to the image, and we can look at our before and after. So I think that it didn't change too much. It just looks to me like it made it brighter. But that's because it changed the colors. But that's not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and stay with that. And then there might be some other tweaking and fine tuning. And what you would need to do though is to get in close and fix areas like this. And what I did on the Mount Everest picture is I actually took the paintbrush, I selected the blue from the sky, and I just very carefully painted this in. And I also selected a brown color from the mountains and painted this in with a little brown and blue. But I don't want you to have to watch me do this again, and I don't want to do this again. So watch your edges very carefully when you do this. But anyway, once I'm pretty sure I have it the way I want, I'm going to get rid of the copyright symbol, not because we're stealing work, but because we are actually want to make the image look more natural. So I'm just going to try the content aware tool. Notice my background is locked. Content aware will not work if the background's not locked. I circle that, I push backspace, and then it says content aware, normal, 100%. Boom. So the copyright's gone. I'm going to proceed to layer, flatten image. And this is actually my second one. So I'm going to do file, save as. Now, I did not call this something like merge myself with a new background. So I'm just going to give it a new name here, but you would want to do like, merge one, merge two, merge three, whatever works for you. I'm going to call this Forest Trail 1 me and click save after I decide that it's a JPEG and change it to JPEG when I'm sure I'm done. Now, you could also have kept the PSD version, which I did not do simply because I forgot. I could go back and do that now, but I'm not going to. And then you have your second one finished and ready to turn in. There are people in the classroom that are really good in Photoshop. So if you find yourself struggling with selecting yourself or moving things around or deleting things, talk to another student. Remember, you have different tools: clone stamp tool, spot healing brush, eraser tool, and the wonderful magic eraser tool. So good luck with this assignment. You need 3 different backgrounds. You may use the same photo on all 3, or you may take 3 different shots of yourself and put them on 3 backgrounds.